Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So there was recently a viral post on Reddit and it caught a lot of attention, and DoorDash has since came back with a response to that viral post on Reddit, and they want to clear up the water. But here's the thing though, you got to take what they say with a grain of salt, because when they on cleanup like this, you know something must have really struck a nerve. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go over DoorDash's response to each claim that was said in that viral post. And I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna dispel any lies that I see, because you know over here on this channel we give you the real. And DoorDash, they be out there lying. And a lot of times it needs to be called out.
Come on now, dog.
Let's go ahead and get to it. But let's go ahead and get right to it. How is DoorDash different? Let's see what they got to say. So of course they addressing the claims about the viral post, but let's get down here to where it really get juicy. Claim number one: the app uses a desperation score, which is a hidden metric that tracks how desperate drivers are for cash. They claim they do not and would never use something like a desperation score. They say it's a horrific term, and they also say that dashers who accept more offers typically earn more over the course of their dash than those who don't. This is one of those tricky, half truths. If you accepting more offers, that typically means that you're gonna be busier. Now you may end up having more money than the next dasher who don't accept the same amount of orders, but what they not telling you is that don't mean you profitable on those orders. Yes, you might earn more over the course of a dash than the next dasher, but if your earnings are not matching up to your miles to money ratio, you are not profitable as the next driver next to you. They go on to say, we've even built an entire Dasher Rewards program that gives Dashers who provide the best service priority access to high-paying orders. Again, another lie. So the claim is that DoorDash uses a desperation score. It's a hidden metric to track how desperate drivers are. And DoorDash's response basically is, the more offers you accept, the more money you gonna make. And they have Dasher Rewards, and they don't need a desperation score because Dasher Rewards lets them know right there that you desperate enough. See, DoorDash, they like to spin the truth. They won't come out and say that, yes, they use the desperation score, but what they in turn are actually saying is they have a system that basically gives them the same information. Because Dasher Rewards, listen, it's a scam. Let's go ahead to claim number two. Dashers are referred to as human assets. DoorDash says we do not call drivers human assets. We call them dashers. Now, you know what? I think this actually may be true, because every time I've reported on some DoorDash news or reported on an article, they seem to be referring to their drivers as dashers. They say they proud of the 8 million people, moms, dads, seniors, and students and veterans out there dashing. And through the We Dash program, all corporate employees are dashers too. Now, I don't know how true this is, but at least as far as this claim is concerned, I do think they refer to their drivers as dashers. But let's go on to claim number three. The app charges a driver benefit fee to fund a policy defense center. Now, DoorDash says they do not charge a driver benefit fee, and they do not have a policy defense center. In some places where the cost to comply with specific local regulations is high, we may charge a regulatory response fee. See, this is another one of those half-truths. They don't necessarily have a driver benefit fee, but they most definitely do, because here's the thing. They charge different amounts for service fee and delivery fee based on where you at, time of day, promotion, if you have a dash pass or not. In some cases, they do have to charge those additional fees for regulatory things like what's going on in New York or Seattle. But for the most part, if you ain't got a dash pass, you is paying a driver benefit fee, because you get paid a delivery charge and a service charge. And DoorDash only gives the driver $2 of that. Now, if all of that money went to the driver and only what they needed to fund the operation went to DoorDash, that would be one thing. But the simple fact of the matter is DoorDash is out here sending you 3 orders at one time, giving you one base pay of $2. So let's break that down. If 3 customers order, that means all 3 of them paid a delivery fee and a service fee, right? But they in turn give the driver one single base pay, when you should be getting a base pay per customer. So that in right there, that's one of those half truths, because when you take a stacked order, you are getting a reduced base pay amount. Therefore, you are actually contributing to the driver benefit fund. Absolutely. And DoorDash does things like that so they can have more money on the back end to combat lawsuits and policy changes. So yes, I think they are absolutely lying on this one. They do have a driver benefit fee, and they most definitely have a policy defense center. It may not be called that. It may be called loss prevention or legal retention, but whatever it is, it's a scam. And speaking of scams, let's go on to claim number 4. Priority delivery is a scam. We do not charge a priority delivery fee. At DoorDash, we offer express delivery. So hold on. DoorDash saying we don't offer priority delivery, but we most definitely will give you express. Now, I may not be the brightest crayon in the box, but goddamn it, don't that sound like they just using some different words to explain the same damn thing? Express delivery, priority delivery. Get me my food as fast as possible is the point. And they got people out there paying extra for that, but you ain't necessarily finna get that. DoorDash claims that if you get the express delivery, their system prioritizes your order and it don't combine it with other orders. But let me tell you right now, there is more stacked orders on DoorDash than ever. Literally 80% of the orders that come through to your phone during a busy time are gonna be 2 or more customers. That means DoorDash is grouping together orders. So you telling me ain't nobody paying for that express delivery? Stop playing with me, DoorDash. You out there taking that money, tricking these customers into thinking they getting priority or express, and they ain't getting none of that. So no, don't be mad because somebody done called you out on it. No, you sitting up there raking in all this extra money from the customer, got them thinking they getting delivery faster when they really finna get it later because you done group they order with 2 no tipping customers, and then you got the Dasher thinking they making more money because they doing more work per hour, but really they doing three works for 1 money. Make it make sense, DoorDash. Priority delivery is a scam on both ends. It's a scam for the driver and it's a scam for the customer. Only person that it worked for is the shareholders at DoorDash because they getting paid on both ends. And let's go ahead and check out claim number 5. If a customer is typically a high tipper, their delivery driver earns less in base pay. Dasher's base pay is determined by 3 factors and 3 factors alone: time, distance, and desirability of a given order. Well, hold on. Let's pause right there for a second. Because what determines the desirability of a given offer? If you ask me, a Dasher, it's all about the money. How much money is this order paying and how far is it going? So what do you mean if a customer tip more, a driver do not earn less in base pay? They most absolutely do. Because if a customer live far away and they don't tip enough, that order don't get accepted until the base pay increases enough for that order to get picked up by a driver. And it takes a while for an order to be declined enough for the base pay to double or triple for it to meet those standards, for those parameters, for it to be profitable. So when you have a customer that tip $10 every time and they only live a mile away, they order come in as a good order and they get accepted quickly. So therefore, DoorDash don't have to add any extra base pay. So this is truth to that claim. If a customer is a high tipper, their driver earns less in base pay. Yes, that's absolutely right, because you only earn more in base pay when the customer is a bad tipper, because that's the only time that DoorDash is going to increase the base pay, because they want that order to get out. Because if it had a good tip on there, it wouldn't even get declined in the first place. Listen, Dashers, don't be listening to the lies that DoorDash claim out there. They spew, because whoever the whistleblower was on Reddit, they got it spot on. They right on with it. They right on the money with it, because DoorDash be out there scamming and scheming, and I'll be the first one to tell you. And when they come out and they try to, basically straight up lie to the whole community, Dashers and customers, I got to call it out. Claim number 5 is a lie. You is getting less base pay if the customer tip high. Priority delivery is most definitely a scam, because you can pay that express delivery, you ain't getting that food faster. You still finna get grouped together with a non-tipping customer. And the app charges a driver benefit fee to fund Defense Policy Center. That's absolutely true, because anytime they raking in extra money and they are telling the customer and the driver that they getting either priority delivery or priority access, that's just a scam for them to generate extra money, for them to have money for legal battles and other pursuits. What was number 2? That was the only thing they didn't lie about. Drivers are referred to as human assets. That's the only thing they told the truth. They do call their drivers Dashers. So I give them one for that. I give them a couple cool points for that. But the app uses a desperation score, which is a hidden metric that tracks down how desperate they are. That's the truth. They do that because even though it's not called a desperation score, it's most definitely called the Dasher Rewards program. So listen, to all my new dashers out there, to all my veteran dashers out there, drop a comment below on this video. Let me know how you feel. Let me know if I'm just blowing smoke, if I'm tripping, if I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Let me know what's going on because I got a feeling DoorDash is only just getting started.